I suppose, in fairness, we should also have some sort of a speaker right behind Ted with John Arnott's voice yelling out, "Come on, Teeder!" I never got to see that live. I heard it on the radio a lot, and I know that sitting on my dad's lap back in the early 50s, I was regaled with the goings-on and the play of Teeder Kennedy and how great a player he was. But someone who got to see it firsthand and the pride of Humberstone, Ontario, was a young man that is sitting up here with us, his son Mark. And we'd like to bring Mark to the podium and have a few words and tell us a little bit about not only the player, but maybe what Dad was like.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you for introducing me as a young man. It's been a long time since anybody's done that. On behalf of the whole Kennedy family, his wife of 60 years, Doreen, me, his son, his granddaughters, Ellie and Yvonne, and their husbands, and their 4 grandchildren. We would like to express our gratitude for this wonderful honor to Mr. Shanahan and the Maple Leaf organization. You know, if my dad was here, this was a man who I never saw cry, except in that film. If he was here now, I think he'd wipe away a tear and say that perhaps this was has been his greatest honor as a Leaf. He'd also say, but what about? And he'd be talking about the many other great Leaf players who I'm sure whose statues will be behind the bench in the years ahead. My dad was a man of humility, and he understood that there's no such thing as a self-made man, someone who, by his own efforts, achieves the heights. He recognized, and if he were here, he'd tell you about the people that were such strong influences on his life. When he was a young teenager playing hockey in Port Colborne, Ontario, there was an old pro named Nels Stewart who took Dad under his wing. Nels saw something that was of value in his skill set, although they were rough skills, and his drive and determination. And he taught him and honed those skills and developed him into an NHL prospect. Dad would also say thank you to Mr. Selke, who, because when he was a boy, he modeled Charlie Conacher, and his dream was wear number 9 and lift the Stanley Cup and be on the Leafs. So he thanked Mr. Selke for rescuing him from the Canadiens by trading Frank Eddles for him. He thanked Sil Apps for showing him what a captain should be, showing him what leadership on a team is all about. And Hap Day and team owners and teammates like Mr. Duff and Mr. Morrison, who were all part of those great years. He would recognize them and say, yeah, they're all part of what's happening today. But most important, he would note his hero. About 10 years ago, I was riding in the car with him, and I said, Dad, who is your hero? And I expected him to say Charlie Conacher. You know what he said? He said, it's my mother. His mother was a little Irish immigrant lady who had 2 husbands die in terrible circumstances. My dad's father, just before he was born. And she raised 5 children. She had to raise 5 children by turning her home into a restaurant, by washing the floors in the Bell Telephone building, and by working the concession stand in the local hockey arena at night. That was my dad's hero. And she was a woman who was able to persevere, who had the kind of unwavering courage that he learned, and who had a faith in Jesus Christ that built her up and carried her through all those hard times. And Dad emulated that. And so, as we see him as the first person on the Leafs bench out there, he would not be saying, well, it's all about me. Because for him, it was all about the team. And he would be so honored today to be the leader of the all-time Leaf team. And once again, thank you so much, Leaf organization. We are honored and blessed beyond words.